Excited to do this. I've done a couple of these presentations through this whole experience we're having in 2020, and I'm really enjoying it, and I have 3 more planned now as of yesterday. So this is a really good use of our time, I think. I would ask anybody who has any questions to please post them in the chat, and I like to do the question and answer thing, especially since all of you are working from home. I'm trying to work with my Zoom. It's a little confusing sometimes. And what I'd like to do right now is start off with a really short video. It's under 3 minutes that I found that I think will be helpful. So let me see if I'm able to share without getting too complicated here. Okay, host, you need to enable me to be able to share my screen, please. Thank you. This one is from Australia, but it has some very good information. I'm getting better at this. Can you guys see the screen first? Yes, good. Here we go.
Hi, my name's Sally. I'm an occupational therapist working at Unlimited, looking at ergonomic workstation design. You might find yourself working from home, or the kids might be learning from home. So we want to show you some ideas about setting yourself up properly at your home office. First thing to look at is your chair. Jump on your chair and take it down to the ground with your feet supported. First thing to look at is your back press. Make sure that the small of your back is positioned on the lumbar support of the back rest. If not, raise or lower the height of the back rest. The other thing is to make sure you're sitting right back in your chair so your buttocks is at the back end of the chair. Once you're comfortable like that, take yourself into the desk. As you can see in this position, my elbows are too low in relation to the desk, so I need to take my seated position up. So grab the control and take yourself up so that the height of your elbow and your wrist is just above the height of the work surface. So in this position, my shoulders are in a relaxed position and I'm comfortable in relation to the desk. However, if you now look at my feet, they're not supported. So I need to grab something to rest them on. So at home, you can grab anything, even a Tupperware container, pop it on the floor, pop your feet on, and then my feet are nicely supported. My knee and my hip are in a nice 90-degree angle, and my shoulders are in a relaxed position. Next thing to look at is your laptop. So what you need to do is push your laptop out of the way and grab yourself an external keyboard and mouse. And then you've got more space to spread out your fingers, and it's more comfortable position for your shoulders and upper body. Next thing to look at is your height of your laptop screen. So in this position, it's way too low, and I'm going to be constantly looking down at the screen. So again, grab anything from home and pop it under the screen to raise that up. So you can grab another container. If I just use the one, it's still probably a little bit too low, so I'm still looking down at the screen. So again, I'll grab an extra one and pop the laptop on the Tupperware container. So in this position, my screen is an arm's length away. My eye line is at the height of the top of the screen or just below. My shoulders are relaxed, my fingers are spread out, and I'm in a good position to start my work. Hope you found this beneficial. Come and visit.
So those are some really good tips that I do provide to people when I'm doing, okay, there it is. So those are some really good hints that I do provide to people. Some other options for a footrest, which is really important, because if your knees are dragging down on the back of your chair like it was in the original picture, that puts pressure on the nerves and the blood flow to the back of the knees and will make your legs and calves hurt by the end of the day. And a lot of folks will tuck their legs back onto the wheels of the chair if you're lucky enough to have an ergonomic chair. Now, I have a home office with an ergonomic chair and a desk, but I was also using my kitchen table. I do use my kitchen table when I telework. It's just more convenient for me. And I'm using my dining room chair to sit in. And so options for improving that are any type of box. This is a little big. You can see it's more than 4 inches because this is about 4 inches. So this space is pretty tall. If you're vertically challenged, this works really well. It's one of our file holder things at the office. So when I'm at the office, I tell folks, try something like that. But we're all getting a lot of boxes. And boxes can come in different sizes. And this is a smaller box. You want to make sure it's nice and sturdy. This is just a test for you to see if that helps reduce your discomfort and causes you to sit back in your chair further. Something that does occur in chairs like this one here, which is a kitchen style chair, is that the seat may not be high enough to actually get your legs parallel to the ground. It'll force you to sit too far back, especially if you're vertically challenged. So what I've done and actually shown folks is I've grabbed a regular cushion, like you would think for a kitchen or dining room chair, that you can put on top of it. And then I've gone and gotten a sofa cushion, which is a good 3 or 4 inches thick, and put it on top of that to show the difference. I'm 5'8", so these guys get a little short for me, and I have to build myself up, and I'm much more comfortable when I'm sitting on my sofa cushion than I am on the chair seat itself. Now, someone who's 5'2" might have a totally different experience. They may have to raise their knees up because the pressure from the hardwood seat chair is too much. My recommendation is really that you get up and move around when you're doing Zoom calls such as this. There's no reason that we can't tilt the screen back and be standing and talking to people. I've had some folks who have had success using ironing boards because they have an adjustable height, the old-fashioned kind that you can move up and down. Now, you might have seen those on YouTube, etc. I don't care what a person's doing as long as they're comfortable. I really like the suggestions in that because they're showing how to use Tupperware containers. Just told you about seat cushions, ironing boards. I had a couple of folks who found out that their countertop was the perfect height for Zoom calls. And then to sit for data entry, they would go to their kitchen table and sit for an hour or two, and then they'd have another Zoom call. So that worked pretty well for them. I'm going to share again here because I want to show you this picture. This is what I hand out to folks here. This part here, I give this out because I was forgetting to give people reminders on how to sit correctly. Now, of course, this person's in an ergonomic chair. You may not be so lucky. Things that you can do, again, are to make sure that you're sitting back with, as they said in the video, your bum against the back of the chair, because that puts you in a position where your shoulders are back and you're sitting correctly. See how this person's sitting. And you can do that in a dining room chair too. You can also roll up a towel to make that lumbar support to go right where the curve of your back is and put it back there, or use a pillow. You can do this when you're laying in bed too. Some people like to lay in bed, but having your arms at about a 90-degree angle, which is what they're showing here with the hand and wrist in a nice straight line, having your feet up so that it forces your rear end back in the chair and takes the pressure off the knee area. And then you want to have your neck in a nice neutral posture, which is why in the video they showed raising up the monitor, because we don't want to be doing this, right? We don't want to be in this position. Let me unshare so I can show you some of my body position. So when we're in this position, if we're typing like this, our arms are in the correct position, but we're going to get a lot of neck pain, and it's going to start here and it will go all the way down into your hips, because you have two muscles that run straight down your back that tie in at your hips and at the base of your head. So when you get tension, today I have a lot of tension here from work I was doing yesterday. I can tell when I touch it. My stretching this morning showed that to me. So it's important that we stretch our muscles, that we move our bodies, and we not stay in the same position all day long. Are there any questions so far? I'm going to jump into some resources right now. If there are some questions, please put them into the chat and I'm happy to answer them. I've worked with some folks that were using older desks at home, and one of the solutions we had, because we were struggling because they were using their laptop and had to for the work that they were doing, and getting that monitor up high enough, we don't want our arms up here doing this, right? So what we did is we pulled the drawer out and made a level surface for the keyboard to set on separate from the laptop. And that helped them to be able to keep their neck in a neutral posture and their hands down, but not so low that they were on their lap, or not so angled up that they were getting some contact stress, which is what she was showing in the video right here. If you get contact stress, it damages the nerves in the hand, and you'll get numbness in your fingers, and you'll be doing this kind of thing. So we don't want to do that. So some resources that we can offer. Oops, wrong one. I'm going to try it on this screen. Nope. This one, I think it's good. Let's see if I got the right one. Close that because I can't. This is our WSU webpage. This is the main page for, oh, well, just screwed that up, didn't I? Washington State University Environmental Health and Safety. This is the home page. We have the COVID-19 response. Down in there, it talks about work ergonomics, and if you click on that, it'll take you to some resources over on this side of the screen that have our checklist for remote working, that's safety things, home office setup guide, and teleworking. I like the teleworking document. This is what it looks like. It actually gives you a little bit of a walkthrough to see what should I do. My chair is comfortable, it works okay. If you say no, it gives you some create a standing workstation, alternate positions throughout the day, like I was just talking about. When I lean against the backrest, my feet are not supported, add a footrest. You can use books and boxes. So it has some really good advice. This is a neutral wrist position that we're talking about. You don't want your wrist cocked one way or another. That's awkward. And it goes through several different points that can assist you. If this doesn't help you out, and of course this is the perfect position you want to be in, which doesn't work all the time, and it goes into reaching and some other resources. So I like that we've provided these resources for you. So I think you would find those helpful, and I can send Roxy, we could send them the link, right? I've been working with Roxy Holden, so I'm going to chat with her a little bit, and I'll send her the link and she can get it to the appropriate person so that we can get you the information you need for that page.
Yeah, we can do that, Sarah.
Okay, great, fantastic, thank you. As there is some really good advice in there that we have put together for folks. If you have a situation that you're not comfortable about talking here, but you want assistance with, please do email me. My email is slgreer, Greer, @wsu.edu. And we can include that along with the other information. If you want to do a Zoom call, I'm happy to do a Zoom call, and I can look at what you're dealing with at home and we can troubleshoot it that way. Photographs work, FaceTime works, and I'm open to any kind of technology that you want to use. So I see a couple of questions. Contact stress on the forearms, any tips to avoid that? There's a couple of things that you can do if you're working. Eloise, are you working on a kitchen table or a desk, or what type of surface? But while you're doing that, I will talk about it. Yes, you can take a towel and roll it up and tape the ends of it and use that like you would for a wrist rest. Another thing is there's wrist rest available. I use this one for my mouse because I like it because it's curved and it's full of little beads. There's resources that we can get for you for those. They run about $9. They also make one that goes across the top of the table, similar to a rice bag. So another option, if you're handy, would be to put some rice into a long tube and then either fold it, secure it, tape it, sew it, whatever your skill set might be. I'm not real handy with sewing, so that doesn't work too well for me. I buy them. You can get the gel wrist rest too to go on the edge of the table. Things I'm looking for in a wrist rest, and let me see if I can show this desktop. This desktop has a curve to it, which is what we recommend our interior designers look for, rather than a sharp corner, a 90-degree like that is problematic because it'll put more pressure than the curve will onto this portion of your arm. Let's see, I'm looking down. I bought a monitor stand. I can slide my laptop under. That's perfect. Good. And if it works for you, that's wonderful. And they do make such things. They make monitor stands where you can raise up your computer and have a keyboard underneath, etc. And you're using a table, so I would suggest that you try those two solutions, Eloise, that we were just talking about. You can make them yourself, or you can grab the ones from your office, take them home with you and put them on that location. Another important thing is, as she showed in the video, is that you want to be able to have your arm at that 90 degrees. So your elbows may need to be higher. If the elbows need to be higher, you can put one of those couch cushions on your chair, raise yourself up, and use something to support your feet. Because I think we worked with a footrest for you, Eloise, if I remember previously. I found a case of bottled water a good height for a laptop. That's pretty cool. There's some great ideas in here. I just readjusted my computer monitor setup while you're, oh, I'm glad to hear that, Jamie. I'm glad, you're welcome. I brought home an anti-fatigue mat from the lab and started to stand on it when I am working. Being short, standing is more comfy from the kitchen table than sitting. That's fine. The new studies are showing that anti-fatigue mats aren't that great. If you're going to be sitting and standing, I think that's probably a good application there. The problem being, if we have to move the mat, it can be problematic. Also, what I want you to understand, Jenny, is if your legs get tired, that means it's time to sit for a little bit. So if you do have the option of taking your laptop somewhere and sitting for a little bit, then great. And then go ahead and stand back at the counter. I really like that standing up is working for you and that you found a height that works than working at the kitchen table. But remember, the alternating of those positions, even if it's sitting on your couch, working there for a little bit, and then going up to your standing workstation is really good, because it's the motion between the two that really you use your quads and your glutes and get your blood circulating from your calves through the rest of your body. Standing all day can be just as detrimental as sitting all day. If your TV has HDMI and computer, also it can be used as a larger monitor. That's great advice. Sitting in a couch, we tend to slouch. I didn't even mean to rhyme, but I did. And being aware of your hand positions would be a good thing. But if you're using the TV as a monitor, look at my body position. It's a lot better than being hunched like this, correct? And I do use my TV monitor sometimes at home. I just now am able, I got another computer, so I can use my TV too. Sharp corner on my desk has a way of irritating my elbow bone. Why is your elbow bone on your desk? My guess is that you're mousing like this with your arm up on the desk. So what that does is it torques your shoulder and will cause discomfort and pain through here into this portion of your back. It's important that we have our shoulders down, our elbows down, so that we're not doing this. Do you see how my body's doing this? That really torques those muscles and tightens them up on that side of the body, and you'll get a lot of pain right in here. So I'd like to know more about that one. I usually use a tablet when working from home, sometimes with a keyboard, other times without. Would the same laptop rules apply? Yes. Yes. So the tablet can be used as a monitor, and you want to raise it up, because what you want to avoid is this, right? We were just talking about that. You want your head to be in a neutral posture. So if we're typing and our laptop is sitting here and we're looking down like this, that's a problem. Now, if you're wearing bifocals, you might need it a little lower. So you want to put it in a position where your neck is nice and neutral, your shoulders are relaxed, your elbows are down, your wrists are straight. Does that help? Then find the TV helpful. Everybody is different. So that is something ergonomically, I never throw the baby out with the bathwater when I was surprised when somebody asked me about the ironing board actually, and when I read about it and I looked into it, it's like, that'll work for some people, other people it won't. The footrest works for some people, other people it won't. The TV screen would work for some people, other people may not like it. So I thought I would love my desk setup because I have a 22-inch TV set, I think it's 24, maybe 24-inch TV set my husband uses, and I thought it'd be fantastic. And I hate it. I go to the kitchen table because that works better for me. Go figure, right? And that. I moved my office to a room with a door, mentally less contact with people. Yes, yes, yes. Dining table is now an eating area, not my office space, and bed risers help with the table height. Perfect, perfect. I'm particularly tall and constantly battle the height of the table, the ability of my chair to be raised enough due to the armrests hitting the underside of the table, and find that I have to chicken wing out my arms. Oh, maybe it's more the shoulder. Okay. I'd like to talk to you, Shelby, if you're willing to email me. I would like to work one-on-one with you on that particular one. And rising the bed risers, what bed risers are, they're plastic things that go underneath the legs in order to raise or lower, raise a desk up, and they work pretty well. You can get them from Amazon, etc. Is there a general rule for what WSU should provide equipment furniture-wise for teleworking employees? No, especially now that remote work is going to be longer than anticipated. I have not heard anything at all in regards to that. We provide ergonomic services to assist you with developing your area. And I know that some departments have been working with their employees individually. So you may want to talk to them about what you can bring from work to your home in order to make it easier for you to do your job. Not wanting to use a dining table. Yeah. So like I said, Paul, everybody is unique. I don't have kids at home. If I had kids at home, my situation would be totally different, correct? Right. Because that just changes the entire dynamic. And it's really important to have a space that you can close and do things like that. When my husband is home, I'm in the office and I close the door because he has his routine and I have to be able to do my work. So if I'm working on a Friday from home and he happens to be off on Friday and he's watching his news and doing his thing and the TV's on or he's calling people or whatever, then I'm in the office. And there's been times where he's been like, I need the computer, you know, so we've learned to adjust. And I think that's something that we do. Any other comments, questions out there? I think we're running on time. How are we doing time-wise? We have nodding your head. So I'm happy to take any questions. Through email is the best way to get a hold of me because part of my job requires me to be across campus working with various groups, doing ergonomics in some cases, and also working with my guys out here in facility services, dining services, auxiliary, and the custodial groups. So the best way to get a hold of me is by email. Roxy can vouch for that. And I do really try hard to respond within 24 hours to any emails I get because I can check them on my phone while I'm around campus. And my phone number is 335-4360 if you prefer. You'll have to leave a message because I probably won't be in my office. Regarding equipment and supplies, please, thank you, Lisa. Nice to see someone from HR there. Thank you. Thank you. That's good to know too for me, Lisa, because I can refer them to that specific portion there. All right, that's all I have, folks. Thank you very much for having me here, and I hope it was helpful for you. It sounds like a couple of people have some things to try.